Good afternoon, YouTube. This is Jason, aka Bit Junkie. I hope this video finds you doing well. It's Tuesday, January 2nd. All right, slackers, let's get back to work. It's been 2 weeks. There's been a lot of us not doing much of anything. It's time to get back to work and get busy. I'm getting back to work. We're gonna open up a new Bitcoin opportunity that we're gonna jump into today, and I'm gonna show it on this video. Real quickly, the gentleman on the left in this picture is Jim Cohan. That's my partner. That's me on the right. CryptUnite Global is the group. A lot of you watched the video last night and came and joined the group. Awesome. Appreciate it. Everyone that's listening, if you want to join a group, it's totally free. No ulterior motives. Just if you want to join a group that's like-minded people, sharing experiences, showing how we're making money in the market, what we're going to do next, and having conversations to enlighten each other, come join the group. There's our Twitter, there's our Instagram, and the Facebook group is CryptUnite Global at Facebook or on Facebook. Just search Facebook for CryptUnite Global, and the group should come up, and you can join. It's free, and the website's under construction. We're working on that. That's going to probably pull everything together in one nice, concise place, but as of right now, it's under construction. All right, so join the group. Let's get conversation and dialogue going. We're going to show you everything we're doing, and you can tell us what you're doing too, and we might adopt some of the things that you bring to us. All right. I want to hurry up and get to this video because I have a lot of content to cover, and I don't want to make this video too long. One thing I want to start out with though is I want to do, this is not educational because I told you this is just me following my journey, but I feel the need after looking at all the FUD, which is fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and all the negativity in some of these forums and on the videos and the comment sections, that I think there's a lot of people that are going to miss a lot of good investment opportunities for fear from listening to other people. Okay, so I want to sit on the other side of that and kind of open your mind just a little bit. I'm gonna give you some insight into my world and give you some examples. Okay, so real quickly, when I built my first house, I swung for the fences. I built a $720,000 house, which is a lot where I live. The median house price is $250 or $270 or something like that. So I built a $700,000 house on the golf course, and I borrowed money from a private lender that was up in DC, and he loaned me $420,000 to build this house. And so fast forward a year or two later, I went up there to some type of convention for finance, and I used to think he had so much money because their fund was like $50 million, and 20-30% of the money in the fund was his money. So I was like, oh, this guy's really rich. And I went up to this convention, and when I got up there, his company was the equivalent to having, I don't know, a cellular phone case booth in the middle of the mall outside of Nordstrom's. Like, he was so mom and pop compared to the other people in the space that it messed my mind up. And what it showed me is that scale is a huge thing. Sometimes you think what's possible is only is basically limited by what you can see or what your experiences are. But once your experience is something else, you're like, man, that wasn't really that impressive. And there's different variations of that you've probably experienced in your own life at one time or another, right? So that was my aha moment. That it made it seem like anything was possible. And when I jumped into trading, I learned that, the same trade that I did, Bank of America made $500 million off that trade, but I only made $100 or $200 because it's relative to how much money I had to put in. But the ceiling is almost limitless on these things. But you have to understand that to expand your mind. So when I see some of the programs and the opportunities in the area or in this space of cryptocurrency right now, I don't have a negative kind of condescending waiting for the other shoe to drop type moment, like this is all a scam. I don't have that feeling. I look at this and I'm saying, you know what, that's doable. Are the right people pulling the trigger to do it? But I know it's doable because I've seen what the market can do. So I'm going to give you some examples of that. Okay. And I'm sorry if I'm doing a long dissertation here, but I think this is important for people to expand their mind. Okay. So the dirty little secret of the rich. People always talk about the return on your investment. What is your annual percentage rate, right? But the dirty little secret and the key to wealth is actually the ROR. It's the rate of return. And this is where people get jammed up. I can build a house and I can make a 25% profit, but it might take me 8 months to make that profit. I'm sorry. And that's the difference between the small guy and the banker. You ever notice if you go to a really large city, New York or Chicago, or you ever notice all the tall buildings have banks' names on them? They make the most money. You go look at the Forbes list. Top 400. They're all bank related. You don't know what those guys do, but it's bank related. And the reason is banks have figured out a way to make money per diem. They make money on you daily. And it's a transaction that opens and closes on the same day with a profit. Okay? So I'm going to give you some examples of that. And it's eye-opening when you really start to consume it, because when I started trading is when I really started to get it. Okay? Here's a first example. According to the Bank of International Settlements, right? Foreign exchange settles $5 trillion per day. Trading is a zero-sum game. So if I trade you something for $10, and I then sell it for 12, when that transaction's done, I've made the $2. There's my 20%. I've made it. It's done. It's over. I don't have to hold it. Now I can hold it if the value's going up and eventually buy it the next day or whatever. But everybody on the other side of the trade are exiting their position for a reason, and typically it's for to take a profit or to stop a loss. But it's those transactions are closed when they're finished. $5 trillion a day. So there's an example of something. All right. Think about Visa. I pulled up Visa facts. Check this out. Visa's volume, $8.9 trillion. Visa is making anywhere from 1.2 to 3% of every transaction that happens, which happens to be 65,000 transactions per second around the world. So when you pay for something with your Visa card for $1,000, Visa made, let's say 2%. They made $20 off of that transaction. And they're doing that to the tune of thousands and thousands and thousands of times per minute. Money on top of money, okay? Another example for you. I pulled up my Forex chart, and I hope this isn't boring you guys. And I picked an exact section. I used to trade pound dollar. And let me just put things into perspective for you real quick. You know what? Before I show you that chart. Dugoscopy, that was my first ECN trading company that I used. They're in Switzerland. And they're a Forex trader that provides, liquidity for the market. It's a broker, right? Okay, so here's the key thing. ECN, this is when you get, a direct connection to the liquidity source. And not, well, that's not for this video. Okay, so on the major pairs, which would be Euro, Pound, Swissy, Australian dollar, Japanese yen, all the major pairs, you can get between 100 and 200 million dollars filled instantaneously on one click. That's within a matter of 2 seconds. So what does that mean? Okay, so now let me go back to the chart and show you something. All right, so right here is an example of an area that I would have looked to buy. I would have looked to buy here, and we'll get into trading strategy another day. But my stop loss would have been 10 pips. Okay, a pip is each price movement is a pip, in foreign exchange, and that's not important for this example, but right here, my stop loss would have been 10 pips back, and I would have been looking to get in at this 78% retracement, okay? So that's would have put my stop loss back here. So if price would have came down here, I would have got stopped out and I lost, all right? But my target would have been double my risk. So if you look at that second number there that keeps going up and down, when it got to 20, which is about right there, right here, I would have exited out of the trade. About right there where my crosshair is. I would have jumped out of the trade. Okay, so why is that important? Well, these bars represent 15 minutes. This is a 15-minute chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 75 minutes, which would be an hour and 15 minutes after I got into this trade at this spot right here, I would have exited out of that trade with a profit of double what I risked. So if I would have risked 1% on that trade, which was standard for me, a 1% risk, I would have made 2% return in an hour and 15 minutes on this trade. Okay. Now, looking at the Dugoscopy, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I've never went to Switzerland and had them say it to me. It could be Duscopy or something like that. But anyway, if you could get $200 million filled for $200 million on one click, you in essence could have made 2% on $200 million in an hour and 15 minutes by taking the trade that I would have taken. I'll show you my trading strategy once we open up trading. I would have took this trade, okay, and made, double whatever I risked. So someone right there on that transaction would have made 2% of $200 million. I'm not the smartest man in the world, but I think that's $4 million in an hour and 15 minutes. And those opportunities are all over this chart, all the different pairs. My point is, you have to think a little bigger. The dirty secret of the rich is that they're in transactional type investments. They're into stuff that open and closes in very short periods of time, and they make consistent income from it. Visa with their 2%, every transaction, they're making 2%. How much volume do they have in one day? How many billions of dollars is it that they're making 1 or 2% on every day? The markets trade 5 trillion. That's just foreign exchange. That doesn't include the securities markets and, the stock exchanges all around the world and the commodity fields and all the other different, exchanges in the world that are also transacting billions to hundreds of billions to trillions of dollars to add up every day. All right. So there's plenty of money out here. All right. So when I see cryptocurrencies grow from a $20 billion industry to a $660 billion industry in the course of a year, I see this as there's a tremendous amount of upside because there's $90 trillion worth of cash floating around in the world. So we've got a long way to go for cryptocurrencies to really get even 1% of the market share. So we got a long way to go for that. But the growth is exponential and we're watching it in front of our eyes. So we need to get involved in stuff like this. Okay. All right. Lastly, let's talk about Bitcoin and regulations. Another thing I keep hearing is the regulators are going to shut Bitcoin down, or these investments that we're jumping into, it's only a matter of time before somebody comes and shuts them down. We have to look at it from what's actually happening here. When you invest in, let's take BitConnect for an example. I got my BitConnect account up here. By the way, somebody yesterday invested a lot of money because my lending wallet exploded this morning. So I don't know what's going on, you guys. This is what happens when we do the BitConnect video. We'll update it, okay? But let's look at BitConnect for example. And this is where the regulations can get a little twisted, or people's definition of what's going on with the regulations. This right here is not real money. This is assigned value. They're telling you that the profits that you made are valued at $1,066.92 in US dollars. They're not paying you back in dollars. This is how they avoid the regulations. This is how the world has to change to accommodate what's going on here. You can't draw dollars out of BitConnect. You can't. You have to convert those dollars into BitConnect coins, which BitConnect themselves minted and put onto the market. And then you exchange those for Bitcoin. And then you send Bitcoin off of the platform, and it's your job to get that Bitcoin exchanged for whatever currency, for whatever country you live in, if that's what you want to do. So BitConnect never really comes into contact with dollars, which skates them on regulations. They deal in Bitcoin. They only accept Bitcoin, and they exchange you Bitcoin for their coin. All we're doing is trading coins, guys. Now, the key that makes it amazing is that the world as a whole is now accepting Bitcoin as an actual currency, where they're embracing Bitcoin. Bitcoin is becoming, a store of value and not quite a transactional currency yet, but it has value. We just looked at the chart, $14,000 per coin right now. But the programs like BitConnect, they're not dealing in dollars and having to get into the what would quote unquote be considered an investment in securities, because they're just trading their coin for Bitcoin. And Bitcoin itself has not been defined yet, which is where the regulations issue is gonna lie. Until we figure out what Bitcoin is, we can't even begin to talk about the other cryptocurrencies that are using Bitcoin to get you into their programs and their systems. It's kind of smart. We have to figure out Bitcoin first. So we're a ways off from any type of regulation here because the only thing they do here is trade you their coin for Bitcoin. Now they assign it a value in dollars, but they don't pay you in dollars or yen or franc or, whatever else currency that you have. They're dealing with just their coin. I hope that's sinking in. We're just trading coins. If you were a coin collector, the coins in your collection may be worth $1 value. Like, if you had I don't collect coins, but if I did, and if you had a really rare coin, that coin might be worth 10,000 US dollars, right? But let's say I had another coin that was of equal value and you had your coin of equal value, and one day we swapped coins. There's no regulation for that. Now, if I sold that as a business and got US dollars, there may be tax implications because I profited from it in US dollars. Enter the regulations. But us exchanging our coins with each other between us, I don't know there's regulations for that. And that's basically what we have here. Bitcoin has value. BitConnect coin has value because we use it. But we're swapping BitConnect coins for coins. It's coin on coin transfer. All right. So I think regulations are going to be a little bit slow to get to this point because this is not real money. This is value. And they give you that amount of value in their coin when you want to exit the system. And then they convert that into the value of Bitcoin. And then that's how you get it off. And the world is accepting Bitcoin right now. So pretty safe for them and keeps them out of the regulations. And it's not as Ponzi and whatever as everybody seems to think. Okay. All right. So there's that. And okay, one last thing before I show you the new investment. Or let's not call it investment, the new opportunity that we're jumping into. All right. Let's go back to BitConnect. Anybody that's been following the channel, you know how much I love BitConnect's system. And I'm going to tell you why. It's unique. It's much like I just explained. All right. Their coin, if you take $10,000, we'll always use $10,000. If you take $10,000 and you buy $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, and you put it into the BitConnect system. And let's assume they're the one on the other side of your trade and they give you $10,000 worth of BitConnect coins and you have and you give them $10,000 worth of your Bitcoin. All right. So now they have the Bitcoin, you have the BitConnect coin. Then you loan them back the BitConnect coin to them, and then you go into the program and they pay you interest per day. Here's what's different from any other time that I can remember in history. Whenever you invested, quote unquote, your money with someone, they took that money and they went to the market and they made their investments and hopefully you're getting a return. Well, maybe for the first time, in this case, for whatever money you gave them, they received two assets worth the exact same amount to use to pay you your return. So you gave them $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. But in the end, they end up holding the Bitcoin and the BitConnect coin that they have for a period of time, which is your loan term, to go and make you money off of it. And the markets that they're getting into are an example of what I showed you here. They're doing trading and they're also doing arbitrage. We'll do a quick example of arbitrage. Arbitrage, in my opinion, is other than mining, is the safest money in trading. And the reason is it's a closed transaction. And by closed transaction, I mean there's a party on both sides already set up, willing and standing there. You just have to put the two sides together. Here's an example. Let's find. Okay, here's Bitcoin versus dollar. Bitfinex, 14,698. All right, let's comb this. See if we can find another pair that's got some spread in it. All right, let's go here. Bitcoin US dollar 14,900. All right, so the 200 and something dollar difference in price. That's arbitrage. Okay, what that allows you to do is you can buy at one place and sell at another place for a profit. Even if it's $100 per Bitcoin, if you're moving tens of millions of dollars at a time, there's a lot of money to be made in doing arbitrage. And what's amazing about it is it's closed because they've already stated their price and they've already stated their price. Your job is just to get your order filled quickly and maneuver between the two. Now, this is a very easy, kind of simple version of it, but the main thing is that in markets, there's tons of coins out there. There's over 1,000 coins now, and there's tons of arbitrage opportunity because the markets are not very sophisticated because they're so new. So it's when an unsophisticated market is available, the arbitrage is always going to be the most profitable thing for a while until those markets really get a lot of liquidity and tighten up. But for right now, there's a fortune to be made in arbitrage because you've got variance of price. I mean, you look down here, you've got $18,000 difference here. $18,000 value for there, 14, 15. It's all over the place. So you can find these opportunities throughout all the other currency pairs too, Litecoin and Ethereum and whatever else. There's coins all over the place on the market that you can use for arbitrage trading. All right. So expand your mind. There's billions of dollars being made every day. And to be perfectly honest with you, 1 or 2% is not that impressive. It's just welcome to the world of the wealthy in the banking system. This is what they do. They make money in closed transactions day after day after day. The working man, we kind of get our money spread out over a long period of time, and then they kind of talked us into the fact that 1% a year is a decent rate from a savings account. It's ridiculous. Okay, so that leads me to what I'm into next. And with CryptUnite, Jim and I, we discussed this at length, and we're jumping into Davor Coin. A lot of you in the comment sections have asked me about Davor Coin. I played a little coy with a couple of you that you kind of thought you brought it to me, and you really didn't. I had already seen it, and I was looking at it, but I didn't really want to tip my hand because I didn't want to recommend it, and then it'd be junk. Because full disclosure, I guess I can say this now. I invested in ETH Connect, and I got burned. They stole my Bitcoin, I think, and just never responded to me, dropped the support link to even be able to send them an email, and it just disappeared. So since I've been in BitConnect, I've been looking for BitConnect 2.0, a better version of it. And as I told you before, the system that BitConnect uses where they take the money, they created their own coin, and then they borrow their coin back from you. So they have double the amount of assets that you gave them to use to pay you back is a genius model. And so the thing that could separate another platform, in my opinion, would be the trading bot. And Davor Coin's advantage, in my opinion, is that they use an arbitrage-based trading bot. Arbitrage is, like I said, in my opinion, is the second safest form of trading because it's a closed transaction. You have a buyer and you have a seller. You just work in the middle. It's just like market making. You work in the middle and make your profit off the spread. Okay, so it's not as much risk of holding one or the other and seeing if it goes up or down. It's about matching a lower price with a higher price and making a spread on the middle. Okay, so I love the fact they use arbitrage. Arbitrage in cryptocurrency is super profitable right now because it's so inefficient. These returns will not last forever because eventually these markets will tighten up. But for right now, an arbitrage trading based platform that uses BitConnect's mathematical equation, unbelievably enticing to me and Jim as well. So we talked about it. I emailed the support team. They were very responsive. They gave me very long emails. They viewed some of my YouTube videos. I told them that, if I jumped into this program, that I would put it on my channel. And I'm not going to put it on my channel if they're a bunch of crooks or, it's not legit. So I offered to go out there. They were just in New York. So they said they weren't going to be back in the States for a while. So they offered that I could come to Paris or Geneva and check them out. So I was going to fly out there, but after I did all the costs, I'm like, you know what? I could spend $3,000 or $4,000 going there. I might as well, and then I could get there and find out their crap. So it'd be better if I'm going to do that. Why don't I just invest the $3,000 or $4,000 in the system and see if it works? On paper, everything looks fantastic. They made it through all of the ICO. They made it through, and this is looking at other ICOs. I found out I've been learning what the signs are that they're junk. And most of the time, technical issues pop up when they try and get through their ICO, when they try to open their exchange. There's all kinds of things on their roadmap that aren't ticked, and Davor Coin hit all of them. So I felt really good on due diligence. I contacted them. They were very responsive. I felt really good there. I reached a point after several emails back and forth that we said, you know what, we're going to do this thing, and we're going to jump in. But this is where you have to be careful who you make your partner. So I'm thinking I'm going to spend $3,000 or $4,000 on plane tickets and hotel stay and time. Okay, I'll invest that, and then if it doesn't work out, I'm no worse off than I would if I would have flew out there and found out their junk. Well, I'm talking to Jim, and he's like, look, man, you know, their program offers something that BitConnect doesn't. And let me show you what he means by that. And here's the difference. So if you go with a $25,000 loan, this looks very similar to BitConnect. So if you do a $100 to $1,000 loan, 299 days, 1,000 to 5,000, 239 days, 5,000 to 10,000, 179 days, and then 10,000 to 25,000, 119 days. And then there's the extra bonus that you get for each tier. Well, they have this top tier here, right? So you get 0.35 added on top of whatever the daily, profit rate is, and it's 89 days instead of 120 days on BitConnect. So that's what piqued my interest, right? So it's a shorter time frame. It's a newer system, so it's just ramping up. It just got listed on CoinMarketCap the other day, right? This coin was $19 3 weeks ago when I was supposed to buy like $4,000 worth of it. Let's not talk about that. That's a very soft spot. As we do more update videos, I'll get into what happened with me not buying the coin, and this just makes me sick. It was $61 last night, and it just makes me sick. But so we decided, you know what? He said, you maximize this stuff, and the more you invest, the lower your risk, actually, especially when these things are newer. And you know what? He's right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a $30,000 investment to start. Money where your mouth is, right? I feel good about it. And that's pretty much it. There's the deal. We moved over the money Sunday and yesterday in preparation for this video. Oh, my session expired. So we moved the money over. And so we have 393 coins available. They're $77 each. And it's going to take $385 to do a $30,000 loan. And we're going to get that back in 89 days. And I've read and understood it, and I'm submitting it. And success. Total investment, $30,000. Here's another thing about them. I don't know if this is the last 5 days credited. Their average is higher than BitConnect on average because they use the arbitrage trading. It's a more aggressive algorithm, but it's safer, which is why I was so excited about exploring them. So I did a lot of due diligence, and this is where I'm at. I'm excited. Now, you guys know I'm obsessed with compounding. For the first 89 days, we're not going to compound this one. It's got an 89-day capital release where we're going to get all our money back. And for the first 89 days, we're not compounding. We're going to do it on our next round. Okay, so for the first one, we're going to pull profits. This is a brand new platform. When we got into BitConnect, they had a whole year worth of history. So as good as I feel about it, I'm still going to hold off on my compounding just for now, for the first 30,000. But anything we add, I mean, we may add more to it as a couple weeks. Things can change. But we may start compounding at some point during this 89 days. But this first 89 days for the 30,000, I think we're going to pull those profits. But we may add more money as we go and compound that money, if you're following what I'm saying. So that's what it is, people. Davor Coin. I did a lot of research. I talked to the people at Davor back and forth a lot. They sent us an email as recently as this morning. The interest rates on average are higher than BitConnect. It's a shorter term, and I'm getting a 0.35% daily bonus for the being over 25,000. And I don't know any other way to say I believe in it than to put my money up, right? So Jim and I, we came together and we did a $30,000 investment. So I am so sorry this video was so long, but that was a lot to go over. This is kind of like a big reveal, for me. This is the most I've invested in any one thing since I started the channel. Like I told you guys, I'm heavy in real estate, and that's where most of my money is. But the more I research cryptocurrencies and the more I see what's really ahead on this roadmap, the more I want to get involved. And this is an example of us getting started. So anyone that's considering BitConnect, maybe also consider Davor Coin, maybe instead of, or maybe you can watch our progress and see how this lands. But they are basically BitConnect 2.0 with a different trading algorithm, and it's arbitrage based, which I feel better about, and it's probably a little bit more profitable for now. But BitConnect has been around for a while, and they've got the history behind them. So I'm sticking with both. Obviously, I'm in BitConnect. You see my wallet. I'm not closing my account anytime soon. I'll be trading this. Davor Coin. We're in Hashflare. We are in USI Tech, and I love all of them. I hope I love this one. Ask me in about a month. All right, I'm getting off this video. Don't forget to go sign up for CryptUnite Global. Join the community. Every time we're about to do something like this, we'll let you know. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Have a wonderful rest of the week. I don't know which video is tomorrow or the next day, but I'm going to make a video to update one of these things that we're in. All right. Hope you guys have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you soon.